What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the live stream. I don't know if I do my own intro in the live stream. My name is Nick, Notorious Fantasy. If you've never seen me before, I appreciate everybody tuning into the live stream. I assume that there are probably 0 people that are new in within 3 seconds of the stream starting. I assume the newer people clock in as we get deeper on into the stream. So I appreciate all of you guys stopping by today. It means a ton. I really do appreciate whenever you guys show up to the stream, obviously. It's just crazy every single time how many people are in here. So I do appreciate it. So we're going to get into the questions in roughly half of a second. Thank you guys for the super chats already. Real quick, Underdog does have a new offer. Instead of put the $5 on the pick'em, if you do $5 to get 50, instead it's $5 to get 100. I have to make the new graphic, but make sure you guys do check that out over on Underdog. So the first super chat here from 44 MSU. We'll get to the normal questions as well, just so everyone knows. We always do the super chat questions first. Why is that, you might ask? Because the people that are paying for the question to be answered, they're going to get their question answered. Just like if you're a Patreon member, your question always gets answered. So I'm going to also head on over to the Patreon and answer some questions as well before the game starts, because I don't want to leave people in the dust. And then same thing goes if you are a Patreon member and you are or on the Discord. I also am always in there answering questions. So thank you, 44 MSU. Would you send Monty for Benson? You have Gibbs, Henderson, JCM, Sharp, Davis. Also, Marks or Ali off waivers, or drop both for Davis? Good question. Personally, what I would do is I would prefer to have Benson because you already have Gibbs. So I would lean with Benson. I think both guys are probably similar type of bets, in my opinion, right? Benson, though, is the RB1 on his team, whereas for Mr. Monty, he's the RB2. Now, he's on a better team, right? So the outlook for his finish, if something was to happen to Gibbs, would be higher. But since we already saw that, James Conner's out for the season, I think the smarter bet would be to have Trey Benson on your team. So that's the way I would lean. It is close. Like, I'm not saying that Montgomery is like significantly worse of a bet than Benson, right? Because if you're comparing the two teams and their usage, like, obviously having a player on the Detroit Lions is better than having a player on the Cardinals, but Trey Benson's much more likely to get a lot of opportunities. I think Trey Benson, by the end of the season, if we're in the scenario that's the same as right now, right? Say we teleport to the end of the season and Gibbs is still the RB1 in Detroit, Montgomery is the RB2, and Benson's the RB1. I think Benson outscores him. So yes, I would do that trade. And then I would probably look to pick up Ollie Gordon. I would be fine dropping Ray Davis as well, if I'm being honest with you. I think if something was to happen to James Cook, we probably end up in a scenario where Ray Davis isn't like the clear handcuff. And what I mean by that is Ray Davis will still be the running back to own, right? If something was to happen to James Cook, knock on wood, you probably would want Ray Davis, but it's not going to be like 100% Ray Davis. You're going to see Ty Johnson in there as well. So yeah, I'm fine doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'd rather have Benson, and I would be fine dropping Davis and picking up both guys. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. 44 MSU. Tyler, my man, thank you for the super chat. Wicks, Dobbs, Thornton, Trey Tucker, all right, or Godwin. Pick one, Iomanner or Godwin. That's a good question. That is a very, 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 very good question. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have Iomanner, Trey Tucker, Wicks, and Dobbs ranked a lot higher. I mean, Dobbs, Thornton, Tucker, and Iomanner ranked a lot higher than consensus. What I will tell you is if Godwin plays, the answer is Godwin. So I'm going to have you just write this down. Tyler Sperry, thank you for the super chat. Just write this down. If Godwin plays, it's Godwin. Look, I understand that Godwin is a risk, so I'm not going to come on here, right, and just be like, oh, fucking Chris Godwin is the safest bet ever coming off that injury. Of course, it's not a safe bet. Of course, it is risky, but ultimately, I would go with Godwin if he plays. If Godwin does not play, I think I'm going to take the high upside shot on Trey Tucker. I understand he could easily go bust, but the amount of targets they've seen over the last 2 weeks is promising that maybe something strong is building in Las Vegas. So I would go with Godwin. If Godwin does not play, it would be Trey Tucker. So thank you for the super chat. That's a very good question, but that's the way that I would lean. JJ, thank you for the super chat. Start Harrison or Olave, Fields or Daniels. Great question. If Daniels plays, I'm playing Daniels strictly because of the fact that you'll be able to sleep so much better knowing you started the guy that you drafted in the third or fourth round over a guy that, like, let's just be honest, does anyone feel great starting Justin Fields? Now, look, I get Justin Fields. I like Fields. And I think up against the Dolphins, Fields could legitimately elbow drop us. Fields could score 30 fantasy points against the Dolphins, and you would not see me coming on here and acting all shocked that that occurred, right? I don't think that's shocking at all. But ultimately, for me, I think I would feel better playing Daniels if he plays. Again, the upside might be a little bit handicapped by the fact that maybe they are not able to run the ball as much with Daniels, right? But ultimately, I still would just feel a little bit safer with Daniels. So Daniels over Fields. And then Harrison versus Olave. I have them ranked back to back in my wide receiver rankings. The rankings are about to go up on Patreon to any of the Patreon members. I'm just updating the half PPR ones. I do them both at the same time so that they're both up so that you're not just, if you're like in half PPR, staring there waiting. I have Olave 27, Marvin Harrison 38. It's basically a coin flip. I lean with Olave strictly because I just feel like by the end of the week, you feel more confident with Olave going tonight, going up against the Buffalo Bills. I understand that Olave's floor is very low, right? I mean, his ceiling is very low because of the fact that the team just isn't that good. The offense isn't that good. But if you're giving him 10 plus targets every single game, he's going to be at least viable enough to be a top 36 guy. Whereas Marvin Harrison could easily tonight be like the wide receiver 5, just as easily as he could be the wide receiver 67, and you wouldn't be surprised. So Olave and Daniels for me. Two Mean Fuzz, thank you for the super chat. That dog is so cute. Hunter, Sharbs, Worthy, Thornton, great question. For me, I'm going Thornton and Hunter. I don't think I have the cojones to play Worthy this week. Do I think Worthy is like a terrible play? No. But something just tells me that Xavier Worthy is going to be much more of a decoy versus a player that you would actually want inside of your fantasy lineup. Now, maybe I am just wrong. Maybe I am off the beaten path here, and maybe Worthy is going to be uber involved. But based upon the injury he has, like if he falls wrong, he could re-aggravate that. Again, I'm as much of a doctor as Johnny Sins, so don't take it as a complete fact that that's the case. But to me, that would seem probable. And when you're dealing with that strong of an injury, to me, it just seems kind of smart to stay away from it. Now, your other options aren't the best either. Like, I feel the best about Thornton, so it'd be Thornton and Hunter for me. I think one of these days, Hunter is going to absolutely explode. I just don't know if that day is coming. That's a tough question. Honestly, I think I might go Worthy instead of Hunter because I just don't trust Hunter. Yeah, the problem with me is even if Worthy doesn't play as many snaps as you would think, he could still outscore Hunter because Hunter's been playing a lot of defense. It's just a bad situation to be in all around. Like Thornton, I feel good about. The other guys, it's really just crapshoot. I don't really want to play Charbonnet because I just don't think he's going to get enough touches to be valuable. So for me, I would lean. I'm gonna go Worthy and I'm gonna go Thornton. But do you want to play two guys on the Chiefs? I'm going Hunter and Thornton. This is a very tough question, but it's Hunter or Thornton. Thank you for the super chat. The first, I got Neighbors for Ertz and Addison. What do you think? My God, what a trade that is, the first. What a trade that is. That is an excellent trade. Whoever you did that trade with, they are a fool. They are a certified fool. Say what you want about Neighbors. Say what you want about his production. Say what you want about Jackson Dart. You could tell me that you think Jackson Dart looks like, I don't know, Hollywood Brown. That's your opinion of him. You think he looks like Hollywood Brown. I'm still taking him over those guys. Jordan Addison is a huge question mark, in my opinion. Now, I think Carson Wentz is good enough to get Jordan Addison the ball. But yeah, I think that is highway robbery. I agree with Richard. I think that's a great trade. I like when you guys flex your trades here because there's no way when you sent in that super chat, you're like, oh, Nick's gonna shit on me here for making that move, right? That's an excellent move. You should be very happy to to have gotten that return. Frankly, I think you straight up fleeced them. And I think that's like prime trade overreaction. What I mean by that is that guy that had Malik Neighbors probably was watching on Sunday and just straight up panicked. That's the only explanation for a trade like that to actually happen is someone panicked. FNX, thank you for the super chat. Benson, Walker, or Pickens? I'm gonna go Walker. I think the range of outcomes for Walker is relatively risky. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say that I think Walker's the safest bet. But based on what we've seen out of Kenneth Walker, do we really think that Walker can't do that again? Right? That Walker can't be a top 10 running back in back-to-back weeks. I understand that I agree. I agree with you the first. I feel like Kenneth Walker is kind of the no-brainer answer. Like, I like Benson. Again, I think Benson's fine. It's like a RB2, but I think Walker could just as easily be like a top 5 running back. So go ahead and go ahead and go with Walker. I think if you want to be as safe as possible, you play Benson, but I'm going Walker personally. Benson or Tet at the flex this week? Great question. Look, I am a Tet McMillan truther through and through. I am going to bang the drum for Tet McMillan basically every single week. Everything I've seen out of him is just so promising. The guy looks incredible. Like, I understand not everyone's watching Panthers games, right? And I don't expect, like, unless you're a Panthers fan, I don't expect you to be locked into these Panthers games. They're not that good. They're not that interesting. I understand. But from my eye test, the guy looks incredible. I understand that Bryce Young has 7,000 question marks. I understand that you probably don't feel super confident in Bryce Young, feel super confident in the offense as a whole. And there is no way that I could even argue with you like, oh, wow, this is like an offense you need to be heavily invested in, right? But they really just give the ball to Chuba Hubbard, and they really just give the ball to Tet McMillan. So I would feel, sure, Trey Benson might be a little bit safer, but I like Tet personally a little bit better. So I would lean with Tet. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Devontae Adams, Neighbors, McMillan, Egbuka, Worthy, Shakir, Kirk in a 3 wide receiver league. I have Jacobs, Hampton, Tootin, and Pollard. Should I trade Egbuka for Mason? Great question. Great question. So you have 2 great running backs in Jacobs and Hampton, and you have, a running back handcuff that could be a league winner in Tootin, in my opinion. And you have Pollard, who I think will eventually figure things out. Like, I don't think you feel great about Pollard right now, and I don't think anyone should. I personally, if I had Pollard, I would have my concerns as well. So I'm not saying that you're crazy if you're concerned about your running back room, but personally, I don't think you have to force a trade if you don't want to. Now you have Adams, you have Neighbors, you have McMillan, you have Egbuka, you have Worthy, you have Shakir, you have Christian Kirk. You have a lot of weapons. But this is a 3 wide receiver league, so I would feel fine having the running backs that you have in a 3 wide receiver league. Because most weeks, my assumption is you're playing Adams, Neighbors, McMillan, and Egbuka. So you can get all 4 into your lineup. And then you've got Jacobs and Hampton in at running back. And if you were to trade Egbuka, then Mason would go in your flex. So, I mean, this isn't a bad trade, in my opinion. Like, I don't think this is a bad trade by any means. For me, it's very hard for me to get rid of Egbuka with Mike Evans hurt. Like, I think that we're going to see Chris Godwin be involved here, but I think Egbuka is legitimately the wide receiver 1 in this offense. And I think a lot of people are going to be shocked with how good he looks in that role as like the clear alpha wide receiver. So personally, I'm not doing it. But if you want to do it, it's not a bad trade. And I will always tell you guys to just go with your gut, frankly, on a lot of these scenarios. You ask me the question, I'll give you the answer. I'll outline why I think one thing over the other. But if you have a very strong gut opinion, like, oh, Nick, who do I start? Fucking Montgomery or Henderson? And I tell you to start Henderson, you're like, well, I think Montgomery's rushing for 200 yards. Then you would just play Montgomery, right? Because you will feel so much better at the end of the day if you do what your heart wants you to do because if you do what I wanted to do and then that ends up as wrong, you're just going to feel like an idiot because you didn't listen to yourself. So that's kind of always my take on things. Personally, I would hold. I don't think it's a terrible trade, but I would hold. Thank you, Brendan, for the super chat. I appreciate you. The super chat was sent in at 7:06. We just got to scroll to 7:06 and I'll find your question. Brendan, thank you for the super chat. He says, do I bench Chase or London to move Wilson up and start Benson the flex over one of them? Oh, man. I assume Chase is not Chase Brown. It's Jamar Chase. Oh, man. Oh, man. So what I would do, start Benson in the flex over one of them. I don't think, look, I think Jamar Chase is going to shit the bed this week. Like, I think Jamar Chase is going to be terrible, but I don't think you can sit Jamar Chase, right? Because magically, Jake Browning could look 9,000 times better than he did last week, right? We've seen Jake Browning look way better than last week. The problem is the matchup here is tough again, right? It's not like he gets a cupcake matchup now up against the Dolphins, right? He has to go ahead and go up against the Denver Broncos. Personally, if I'm setting your lineup, I'm going London, Chase, and Wilson all in the lineup, and Benson is going to be on the bench. Benson's going to be on the bench for me. If you feel like you want to play as safe as possible, which might be what you're looking for, my answer here, the safest possible answer is London, Garrett Wilson, and Benson. If it's my team, though, I'm going Chase, London, and Wilson. I didn't draft Jamar Chase with my first overall pick to full-on panic yet. I get he could completely screw you over, and, like, I'm not going to just lie. Like, I don't lie on the streams, the videos about, like, just act like there's no negatives to a guy like Jamar Chase because you drafted him 101. But I'm still playing Jamar Chase. If it's my team, it's Jamar, it's London, it's Wilson. If you want to be safe, it's Benson, London, Wilson. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Drake or Murray? I'm going Drake. Drizzy Drake May. I like deep down, I am still a truther of like, I am still the kind of guy that actually still thinks Kyler Murray's kind of good. Like deep down, I think Kyler still has it. Like, I don't think Kyler's straight up washed like a lot of people will say. But I'll be honest with you, he hasn't been great, and the Seattle defense is great. The Seattle defense is forcing takeovers, turnovers left and right, and that's a pretty big concern, right? That should be a pretty big concern to you. Watching, like, if you have to play Kyler, I don't love Kyler this week. So personally, I'd rather play Drake May. I just feel way safer with him. Rise above everything, my man. 10 MLK 9. Swift or Chase Brown, Ridley, Shepard, 14 ML. All right. 10-man league. Is that what that means? And a 14-man league? In the 14-man league, I'm going. Oh, okay. I understand now. I'm fucking stupid. I read that as like MLK. Nick, you got like 13 super chats to go. My guy, I gotta speed it up. I know. When I read MLK 9, I don't know why the fuck I thought instantly. Anytime I hear MLK, I just think of Martin Luther King. Shout out to Martin Luther King. It's Kenneth Walker over any of those guys because that's who K9 is, Kenneth Walker. And if I just read that wrong, it's Swift. It's Kenneth Walker. I'll just rank them for you. It's Kenneth Walker, then it's Swift, then it's Chase Brown. It's that order. And then Ridley or Shepard in a 14-team league. I'm hoping Ridley pulls the rabbit out the hat, but I would go Shepard. I'm going to go Shepard. Shepard, assuming that if Chris Godwin is out, it's Shepard. If Chris Godwin's in, it's Ridley. You know, fuck it. It's Shepard anyways. We're going General Shepard, and we're going Kenneth Walker. And if Kenneth Walker's not part of the question, it's DeAndre Swift. We're going to go quicker. AJ, start one. Benson, Genty, Chuba, Chase Brown. For me, I think it's going to be Chuba. It's Chuba. I like Ashton Genty, and I said this in the running back video that I made. It came out like an hour ago, so probably not all of you guys have seen it. Probably most of you guys haven't seen it because my internet is slower than old people engaging in some coitus, and it took forever to upload. I don't know why the hell it took so long, but in my opinion, I think that what Genty is doing is not his fault. I think if you're blaming Genty, you are kind of just overreacting and not understanding what's happening. The offensive line in Las Vegas is terrible. Maybe we probably should have, taken that more into consideration when drafting him. And I will put my head up and say I did not take that as much into consideration as I should have. Hands up, I was wrong. But personally, I'm playing Chuba Hubbard. He has scored a touchdown in 2 of 3 games. He's been a top 10 running back in 2 of 3 games. I get, there's a lot of worries about the Panthers, but I have way more concerns about Chase Brown. So many concerns about Chase Brown. The offensive line is very concerning for Genty. Benson, this game could get out of hand early, and they might not be able to run the ball as much. So when you have a scenario with this many running backs, it's Chuba. Vapor is plenty, my man. Thank you for the super chat. Terry injured. I got my starting Marcus Mariota, Amon-Ra, Ladd, Ertz, or Johnson. And then you have ETN, Henderson, Flex is Golden. What do you think? My bench is JCM, Lawrence, and Mooney. I think instead of Ertz, you want to go Johnson because, look, I think Ertz is going to bounce back after last week. Like, I don't think you watch last week and have, like, a super large takeaway, like, oh, fucking Ertz is washed after one down game. I don't panic about that, but I think Juwan Johnson is just going to end up being the kind of guy that is just a layup play in your lineup every single week. I understand that he's not always going to be a top 12 tight end, especially when you're attached to the Saints. But when the target share comes that hefty at tight end, and like tight ends are just not very baked in to have that super safe floor. So for me, I would feel very, very, very good with Johnson in as your tight end. And then in terms of the rest of your team, I think you're looking fine. Obviously, it sucks that Terry McLaurin is hurt. I guess your hope is that Terry McLaurin comes back, but if it doesn't happen, you still have assets on your team that are tradable. But your bench is good enough. Like Mooney, I think has way better days ahead than what we have seen. Like Mooney could get 8+ targets every single week, and I don't think anyone should like bat an eye and be like, wow, that's fucking crazy that he's able to get that many targets, right? I don't think anyone should be thinking that. So I feel pretty good about your outlook going forward, especially since I do think JCM is going to become the bell cow back there, or at minimum the lead back there. So my lean would be that you're fine and to put Johnson in instead of Ertz. But I like your team. I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to be fine. Don't panic just yet. Yusuf, thank you for the super chat. Chubb or Charbo? Gross, I know. Golden or Io Manor? Great question. If Cam Ward plays, it's clearly Io Manor, in my opinion. I just trust Cam Ward to get the ball to him. If they have to go to Brandon Allen, that's when kind of shit hits the fan, and I would just play Matthew Golden due to what I saw up against the Cleveland Browns. So write that down. Just write this down. If Cam Ward plays, Io Manor. If Cam Ward doesn't play, Golden. And then I'm going Chubb over Charbonnet. I really do think Charbonnet is going to start heavily ceding touches in this backfield to Kenneth Walker. It just doesn't like, look, I think Charbonnet is a talented player, but based on what I've seen so far this season, Kenneth Walker is way better than Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet is a very, very, very high level handcuff. Like if something was to happen to Kenneth Walker, like if Kenneth Walker was out for the season, knock on wood, right? We're not rooting for injuries, but if that's the scenario that happens, you have a league winner on your hands. But in the scenario that we live in right now, it's Chubb and it's Io Manor, assuming that Cam Ward plays. And I answered this one because Brandon super chatted again, but I'll just go over this question one more time. Do I bench London or Chase to move Wilson up and start Benson in the flex? You have A-Chain and Mason starting. Yeah, you're good with your team right now. I personally think, sure, if you want to be as safe as possible, you put Benson into your flex and you play London and you play Garrett Wilson, but I don't want to play it as safe. There's too much upside with Jamar Chase. So Chase, London, and Wilson would be in my lineup. Vapor is playing. Do you trust Golden and Ladd to be insane this week? I trust Ladd to bounce back. Like, I think people are really kind of entering a spot where it is DEFCON 7,000 for Ladd McConkey, right? Where I'm seeing people trade Ladd McConkey for just straight up scrubs on Twitter. Not all of you guys are doing these crazy trades, but just on Twitter in general, I look at Twitter all the time. It's my favorite social media platform. There's a lot of terrible things on there. I will not lie to you, right? It's not the fucking most fun place to be all the time, but there is a lot of fantasy stuff on there, and there's a lot of crazy fantasy trades that people make, and I always find those to be super interesting. So, yeah, I think like buying low on Ladd right now makes sense. So yeah, I think Ladd's gonna bounce back. Like again, we got to be very cautious to not just full on fucking panic on a guy like him. Now, Golden, I think he's gonna be in for bigger games going forward. I love his matchup this week, but I want to pump the brakes on saying he's gonna go bananas this week. I think he could. I'm just not gonna say it. Would you trade Keenan Allen for Lamb? That's tough. because don't want to go back. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it, DC. I don't judge anyone that's not on Twitter. Twitter is genuinely one of the I think Reddit, frankly, is the worst place to be at. Reddit is like there's just so much crazy shit posted on there. People are just very, very stuck in their ways on Reddit, if you know what I'm saying. But Twitter's crazy. Twitter is a crazy place, but I like Twitter. I personally, would I trade Keenan Allen for Lamb? Like realistically, yes, right? Like realistically, yes. But it really depends on who your wide receiver core is, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Like, if you have other guys that can back up for the loss of Keenan Allen, 100%. 100% I'm doing this. If you're getting rid of Keenan Allen and now you have to start for the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3, 4 weeks without Lamb, right? So Lamb's on your team. And now you're relying on your wide receiver 2 or 3 is Khalil Shakir or Tyquan Thornton or Trey Tucker, then no, I'm not doing it. So if you feel good about your wide receivers outside of Keenan Allen, 100%. If you don't, I probably keep Keenan Allen. But in a vacuum, yes, I would do that trade. Sherney, thank you for the super chat. Should I trade Tet plus Javonte for JSN and Tootin? Yes. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Tet McMillan as much as the next guy. And I think Javonte is going to be fine as like an RB2. But JSN just feels so safe. Just feels so safe week in and week out. JSN just literally feels like one of the most reliable wide receivers in fantasy. I'm not going to say the most reliable wide receiver, but he's up there. He's already up there as one of the most reliable players at the wide receiver position in fantasy football. So while it is a little bit gross, and I understand that, while it's a little bit gross to have the fucking wide receiver 1 for a quarterback like Mono Man Sam Darnold in your lineup, I'm willing to do it. So that would be my take on it. I would do that trade. I would get JSN, and I would hope to get Tootin in return as well. It really sweetens things if you get Tootin. So yeah, JSN and Tootin over Tet and Javonte. Money Click 210. Thank you for the super chat. Trying to trade Stephon Diggs or Ridley. Who can I try to get in this upgrade? Full PPR. I also want to pair with Travis Etienne. Okay, good question. Personally, I think Stephon Diggs and Calvin Ridley right now basically have zero value. Now, that's not to shit on you for drafting them because those were two of my favorite players in the summer. And frankly, I am a believer that after 3 weeks, you can't just say they're going to be useless for the rest of the season. Stephon Diggs is coming off of an injury, and you also have to consider that not only is Stephon Diggs coming off an injury, Calvin Ridley is also dealing with a rookie quarterback. I think things are going to get better between them. If I'm packaging Travis Etienne and Calvin Ridley, you're kind of just looking for someone in the range of Etienne, right? Because Calvin Ridley or Diggs, whichever one you go to trade, is like barely an add-in in the mind of most people. In the mind of most people, that's like if I sent you ETN plus and I sent you $2 on the side. Obviously, we're not trading with real money, but that's like how valuable he would be. Like $2 of real money. It's like it's not worth a lot. So if I'm trading ETN, I'm looking for a guy like in the range of that's good. That's a good question. Like George Pickens, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, Lad McConkey, Jacoby Myers in that range, right? You're looking at wide receivers that aren't in the top tier, but are going to be like super reliable top 24 type of guys that you trust. That's the range that you are looking for if you are looking to trade away Travis Etienne plus another piece. So that would be my opinion. I'm going to answer all these questions. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I would look for basically anyone in my rankings that isn't ranked inside like the top 12 of wide receivers. So like Keenan Allen, Ricky Pearsall, Jacoby Myers, Debo, and if your league mates are stupid, you might be able to get Tet as well. But that kind of range of a guy, Cortland Sutton. I don't think you're going to be able to get like a locked and loaded top 10 option at this point at wide receiver for those guys, just because again, the value of Ridley or Diggs are just virtually nothing. Anonymous, I'm getting you next. Hey lad, what's going on, Greg? I appreciate you. Pick the flex. Horton, Ridley, Tolbert, Downs. Fuck. That's tough because, like, in my opinion, I want to play Horton. But I don't know if I actually have the cojones to do so. He's had 4 targets in back-to-back weeks. He has scored in back-to-back weeks. It's pretty risky. Ridley really hasn't done jack shit, but Ridley at least gets like 8 targets. So like you can kind of bank on maybe he eventually turns it around. You have to answer tonight because you can't play Horton because Horton plays tonight. I'd go Ridley. And if you have more balls than I do, which maybe you do, right? Maybe you you are more confident than I personally am. Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, I just closed out of everything. God damn it. All right, this is what I was trying to do. I figured it out. But yeah, I would personally go Ridley, but if you have bigger balls than I do, go Horton. Anonymous, thank you for the super chat. Anonymous super chatted at 7:17. So we got to catch up. I'm so sorry that we're taking so fucking long. We're going so slow, guys, because I'm a slow guy, you know. Anonymous says, half PPR. Should I drop Burden, Tajay Spears, or Fannin for Romeo Dobbs? Juwan Johnson is my wide receiver 1. Yeah, I would drop Burden for Romeo Dobbs. I like Burden a lot. I think Burden is a very talented player. But at the end of the day, how can you trust Burden? Like, you're never going to trust Burden enough to actually play him unless something A, happens to one of the receivers ahead of him, or B, the team pushes more towards giving him the ball. So I think it will take a while to actually have Burden enter your lineup. So I'm dropping Burden for Romeo Dobbs. And we're going to go a lot faster now, just so you guys know. We're going to be going a whole lot faster. Go Bills. What's going on, man? PPR, Walker, ETN, or DJ Moore. You just have to go Walker. I think that Walker is not technically a must-start high-end top 12 running back because there is risk with him, and the risk is very easy to explain. Why is he risky? Because of the fact that you don't know for sure how many touches he is going to get compared to what you think he should get, right? Realistically, you would think he would get the bell cow load, but that's not a guarantee. At the end of the day, though, I'm going to be taking that risk on him because I think the matchup is good. And I also think that I know Walker's been top 10 running back in back-to-back weeks. So we got to rock with it. Edward, current sitting 1 and 2, 10-team, half PPR, Indiana Jones or Kyler, Indiana Jones. Also at flex, MHJ, JMO, Travion. You have McBride at tight end. If that helps with decision-making, do I ride with a flock of Cardinals tonight? For me, I can't play Kyler Murray when you have Daniel Jones. And it's not because I think that I just can't do it, man. Kyler Murray feels like if you're in a super flex league, Kyler Murray feels good if he's your quarterback too, right? Or if it's a bye week situation or Daniel Jones has a rough matchup, then you play Kyler Murray. But when Daniel Jones has been as consistent as he has been, I don't think you can make the argument, in my opinion, to sit Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has played far too well to be sat. So I'm gonna rock with. I'm personally gonna rock with Daniel Jones, and then for the flex, I'm playing Marvin Harrison. They're all risky. I want to tell you Travion Henderson because I think Travion Henderson's going to smash, but we don't know for sure what the workload's going to look like. And Travion Henderson could just as easily score 3 points as he could be a week winner this week. So, in my opinion, I'm going to go Marvin Harrison, Indiana Jones, and rocking with it like that. Soul, my man, thank you for the super chat. Full PPR, pick 2, Keenan Allen, Pittman, London, BTJ, Egbuka, and 1 flex. And who do I start, Daniel Jones or Caleb Williams? Let me check my ranking of Daniel Jones versus Caleb Williams because I don't know that off the top of my head because I didn't make the quarterback ranking video yet. I have Danny Dimes rank 7, Caleb rank 4, so I'd go Caleb. At wide receiver, I'm going London, and I'm going Keenan Allen, and wait, I'm going London and Egbuka. And if at flex you could play Keenan Allen, go ahead. So for me, it would be London, Egbuka, Keenan Allen. But if your flex options are only JMO versus Judkins, I'm going Judkins. Thank you for the super chat. It's gonna be London and Egbuka. If the flex can be Keenan Allen, it's Keenan Allen. If not, it's Judkins, and then I'm playing Caleb over Daniel Jones. Vic, thank you for the super chat. Dak or Gino this week? It's Gino. Look, I still think Dak has it. Like, I still think Dak is going to be fine. But this week up against the Green Bay Packers, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I don't want to really play that many people against the Packers. I think the Packers are just like a disaster waiting to happen for you going up against the Packers defense for Dak. So it's Gino. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Harrison, Chubb, Arayo in the flex. It's Harrison. It's Harrison. The reason why it's Harrison for me is I don't think, like, even if Harrison does really bad, he's probably still going to get you like 6 points. And I don't even think as of right now, I can 100% tell you that he's going to score like that. I don't even think I can 100% guarantee to you that we end up seeing Chubb get 7 points guaranteed. So I would go with Harrison. Jose, thank you for the super chat. Bucky or Mason? It's gonna be that's a coin flip. I have it Mason 11, Bucky 13. The reason why I lean Mason over Bucky, Jose, is because of the fact that Bucky's offensive line is severely injured. I'm pretty sure only one of the offensive linemen that they started the year off with as a starter is starting. That could be wrong. Maybe it's 2, right? Maybe it's 2, so I'm off, but their offensive line is banged up to shit. So Bucky's ceiling's capped by that, and Mason looked real good last week, so I'm rocking with Mason. Ernesto, pick 2 at the quarterback position. Fields, Prescott, Stafford, Darnold, Young. Great question. That's a great question. Prescott, Stafford, Darnold, Young. I would personally go... We're going Fields for sure. Fields plays. You have to play him against the Dolphins in your scenario. And then I think I'm going Bryce Young. No, I have Stafford ranked ahead. Stafford's in like a shootout game, so we'll go Stafford and we'll go Fields. Yeah, that's the clear answer there. That's the clear answer. It's Stafford and Fields. I know Fields feels wrong, but it feels wrong because it's really right, because he's really going to play good. So Fields and Stafford. Thank you for the super chat. Cameron, just traded Chase Brown, Dobbins, and Sutton for Nico Collins and Hampton. Did I win? Yes, you did win, strictly because of the fact that I like Dobbins. Dobbins is on a few of my fantasy teams. Dobbins is like one of the guys that is legitimately hoisting my fantasy team back to life. Like, one of my teams is so fucking bad. A lot of my teams on Underdog are bad just because of injuries, and he's carrying me. And I like Dobbins a ton, but I think I like Dobbins, but we all know he's kind of injury prone, right? Like I know we're all gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be fine, and yeah, I think that's how you should operate. He's still fine, but he's injury prone. And Chase Brown is like a legitimate cone. He's fucking useless. Like, I want him to be useful. I like Chase Brown, but he wasn't even useful with Burrow. So, like, how can we feel great about him being useful now? So yeah, I think you won that trade easily. Quasi-Moto, thank you for the super chat. Just traded Swift and London for JSN. Thoughts? My thoughts are that is significantly safer than what you had before. That is my biggest takeaway. I am someone that will always always find it hard to trade away Drake London because deep down, I really do think that Drake London has the upside to be the guy that is scoring so many points on a weekly basis because of how that offense operates, right? He could be seeing 10 plus targets every single game, but JSN just feels so much safer. And you probably now just felt like a weight lifted off of your chest, right? You ever seen it was that book called like The Crucible, where it's like the Salem witch trials and they murk the dude by putting a bunch of weights on his chest. You just felt a weight lifted off your chest by making that trade. So yes, I do like it. I do like it. I like that trade. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. Dixie, thank you for the super chat. Dixie Freely, Judy, Ferguson, Chubb, Texans or Broncos. Broncos, 100 P against the Bengals as your defense. And look, you will never, hardly ever come on to a stream of mine where I am advocating for you to start a tight end at the flex. You will barely ever hear those words come out of my mouth. But with Jake Ferguson, this guy's basically a receiver. He might legitimately get 15 targets on Sunday. I'm not even kidding. On Sunday night, he could get 15 targets. It's Jake Ferguson by a quarter mile. Eric, thank you for the super chat. Andrews or Christian Kirk at the flex. I'm going to play Andrews. I think Kirk's floor is a little bit higher, but for me, it's going to be Andrews. I don't love either guy, right? I think we probably saw Andrews' best game last week, and we're kind of going to be chasing that dragon all season. But I think Andrews, yes sir, Dixie. My hope is that Andrews becomes a more reliable asset to you. And Andrews is able to keep you at like 10 plus points. Kirk, if the Houston Texans figure it out, Christian Kirk's going to become quickly a riser in the rankings. But as of right now, it's Andrews for me. Do you have a Patreon or Discord? Yes, Lord Chris, thank you for the super chat. The Patreon, I'm going to link the Patreon. And then I will link the Discord is linked in the description all of the time. It's in every video description. The Patreon, I'm going to post it in the chat. It's patreon.com NotoriousFantasy. The Patreon's $12.50 a month. I post my full PPR and half PPR rankings, and I answer every single question on there. So if you have any questions, they are always answered on there. And if you are a Patreon member, there are exclusive Discord channels for you to ask questions. Spock is also in there because he sometimes shares his opinion if I don't see it. I know you guys are looking for my answer, but if I'm out or something, I always get to him though. But yeah, on Patreon, I answer every single question that's on there because you pay. Same thing is the case with the Patreon in the paid part of the Patreon section. I also answer regular questions in the Discord as well. And I'll link the Discord right now. So make sure you guys are in the Discord too. Even if you are not someone that pays for the Patreon, the Discord is heavily used. And during the games, I talk in there with you guys. So especially like the night games, like on a Sunday, Monday night, I'm always in there. So make sure you guys check that out. Lord Chris, there you go. 10-man PPR. Thank you, Jonathan. Start Walker tonight or Judkins. My other running back is Bucky, so I can't start them both and have a Buka in the flex. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you, Jonathan. Very nice. Thank you for the super chat. I like. You have to go Walker. You just can't sit Walker for Judkins. And look, I think Judkins is probably... I was wrong on Judkins in the summer. I thought Judkins was going to see a lengthy suspension. I thought they just might outright not sign Judkins, and that was wrong, right? I thought it would take him a while to get integrated into the offense. That was wrong. I was straight up wrong about him. I was banging the drum for him for months, and then there was the legal situation, and I said, you know what? I don't want to deal with that shit, so he's not on my radar anymore. In reality, he should have been. He should have been more, and I faded him, and that was stupid. But Kenneth Walker's upside is a top 5 running back any given week. He's been a top 10 running back in back-to-back weeks. Don't get cute and sit him. Benson or Pollard. from Eric. Thank you for the super chat. It is Benson. Pollard looked good last week, and I will give him credit for that. But Benson feels just 9,000 times safer. Like, again, say what you want about the Cardinals offense. I joke about how whack the Cardinals offense is all the time. I joke about how whack Marvin Harrison Jr. plays all the time. But at the end of the day, Benson is going to see a lion's share of the touches here. Benson has shown off flashes of him being the reason why he drafted him as a high-end handcuff, because he can pay off at that skill level. So my personal lean would be to continue to bang the drum for him and to rock with him as the starter. So I feel way better about Benson than I do with Pollard. Thank you for the super chat. Bappa says, pick 4, JSN, Adunze, Debo, Ladd, Keenan Allen, Sutton. Whoa, that's a great team. Goff or Bo Nix, both were disappointed last week. Yeah, I was disappointed with both of their play as well. So that makes the two of us. In terms of the receivers, this is a really good question because this is tough. You have a lot of good receivers. So JSN is a must start. I'm going to just type this out because it's easier for me. JSN is a must start. You have to play JSN. Adunze is a must start. You have to play Adunze against the Readers. Keenan has ran red hot, so I got to go Keenan, and then I got to go Debo. Oh, fuck, we have Sutton too. Okay, so it's JSN for sure, Adunze for sure, Sutton for sure. Then Debo. Oh, man, so you're not going to be able to play Keenan Allen, but that's fine. Debo is going to be so good this week. So it's going to be Adunze, JSN, Sutton, Debo, and we're going to stack Debo. We're going to stack Sutton with Bo Nix. We're going to stack Sutton with Bo Nix. I have Bo Nix 10, Goff 14. So Bo Nix, JSN, Adunze, Sutton, Debo. And that's only a really tough question because you have so many good players, and that makes it tough. Skeeter, Skeet, water gun. Shout out Lil Wayne. Tyreek or Benson? I'm going Tyreek. Tyreek has notoriously played very well up against the Jets. That's also the game where he quit on the Dolphins in week 18. So I feel like he's just going to be looking to get his lick back in that game. I think he's going to come out angry, and you're not going to like to see Tyreek when he's angry. There is a joke for that, but we won't make it. Because, on live stream, they don't fuck around with what you say on live stream, right? We got you guys remember a couple years ago, we got age restricted on the live stream because we were talking about that guy who wanted to trade Christian McCaffrey for his wife. Was that the trade? So funny. But yeah, it's Tyreek. I feel way better about Tyreek. 10 minutes. Brian, what are you smoking, buddy? There's 25 minutes left. It's Tyreek, though, over Benson. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. I'm messing with Brian, by the way. Kelsey or Juwan Johnson this week at tight end? Definitely Juwan Johnson. I like Kelsey, and I think Kelsey's going to end up being pretty reliable through the stretch of the season. Like, I think wherever you drafted him as like the tight end 7, he probably finishes anywhere from like the tight end 7 to 10. Probably not a guy that you were like, by the end of the year, you're not like, oh my gosh, thank God I drafted him. But you're also not going to be like, oh, I'm so pissed that I drafted him. Juwan Johnson, on the other hand, though, top 3 upside at the tight end position weekly. So you got to go with him. You got to go with Juwan Johnson. Super high upside every single week. Harrison Jr. or Waddle? I'm going Harrison Jr., but Waddle is safer. Right? That's kind of how I look at this. It's really just a risk tolerance question. FZware, how risky do you want to be? Do you want to risk it for the biscuit with Harrison, who I think could end up being like a top 5-ish running back? Wide receiver. Like, I think he has that top 5-ish upside game in and game out. Whereas I think Waddle probably doesn't have that top 5 upside, but also is significantly less likely to completely blow your back out here and score 0 points. I have Harrison ranked higher. I would go Harrison, but you can go ahead and play Waddle if you want to be safer. Mac, thank you for the super chat. Benson, Neighbors, Pearsall, Love, or Knicks. Now, we just got news about... okay, so Terry McLaurin will not need surgery. Someone talked about Terry earlier, but he's probably not going to play on Sunday. He's in doubt. So good news for the Terry McLaurin owners. You dodged a fucking heat-seeking missile there. And then Brock Purdy, toe, left shoulder, limited on Thursday. For you guys, just in general, do not panic about practice reports until like Friday, especially with veterans. What's up, OG? For me, I'm going Neighbors and I'm going Ricky just because, like, is Ricky Pearsall going to play? Let's look that up. Ricky Pearsall, Roto World. Like, I think he's going to play. Slick Ricky. He's practicing, leads wide receivers and drills. Yeah, so he'll be fine. So I think Purdy's going to play. So Neighbors and Pearsall, and then Love or Nix. Love. Look, I get Love is in kind of a slump for fantasy. But if there's ever a slump buster game, it's the Cowboys. So we have 22 minutes. It's Love and it's Neighbors and Pearsall. Jeffrey, thank you for the super chat. Dobbins or Swift in the flex? It's Dobbins. Dobbins has played far too well over the last 2 games. Actually, over the last 3 games, he scored a touchdown every single week, top 16 running back every single week in full PPR. You cannot sit him at this point. Look, I get some of you guys actually will have the benefit of being able to sit him. Some of you guys may have a team that is good enough to where you don't have to play him every week. But in your scenario, like Dobbins is very good. Like he's deserving of a top 24 ranking every single week. So for me, it's clearly Dobbins. Abscrat, thank you for the super chat. Ertz or Kincaid? I would lean with Ertz this week just because, I would lean with Kincaid this week. I think they're both fine options. I have Kincaid 8, Ertz 12. Just think Kincaid's more likely to score the touchdown, thus giving him more upside. So I would lean with Kincaid, in my opinion. I think Ertz is going to be fine, assuming Jaden Daniels plays. So I don't think either guy is a bad play. Realistically, Ertz probably a little bit safer. No problem, Jeffrey. I think Ertz realistically probably a little bit safer without Terry McLaurin. Like, I don't see him necessarily going bust because technically the Bills use like 3 tight ends every single week, but they seem to like using Kincaid near the red zone where the money is made. So I'd personally lean with Kincaid. I just got offered Pearsall and Judkins for Pittman. If you are trading away Pittman and you can get Pearsall and Judkins, you do it. If you're getting Pittman, I would get why you might want to do it, but no. Definitely like the Pearsall and Judkins side more. I think Pittman is really good. Like, I've always thought Pittman was good, even when people have been like shouting all over him in the past. I have been someone that's been very vocally on the Pittman train, but I think you can't lose. Judkins could realistically be like a top 18 running back every week, and Pearsall has top 12 receiver upside, so I can't do it. Vic, thank you for the super chat. Gino or Tua rest of the season? Flex, Jacoby, or ETN non-PPR? Great question, Vic. Rest of the season is Gino, because Gino is one of those guys that probably won't ever, like last week he won your week, right? But how often can he do that? Probably once in a blue moon, right? Tua, I think, like, I still think Tua has it, and I still think Tua's fine. But for Tua, he has zero mobility. He barely runs the ball, and every time he runs the ball, I damn near poop myself because I'm scared that he's going to get a concussion again. And I think basically every Dolphins fan feels that way. And the offense just isn't humming enough to actually lead Tua to be thrown for 300 plus yards, 3+ touchdowns, which is kind of what he needs to be great. So Gino, and then Jacoby or ETN, I would lean with ETN. It's ETN for me. It's ETN. ETN over Jacoby because it is non-PPR. It is ETN. No win. Start Egbuka or Brees at the flex this week. It's got to be Egbuka, and I love Brees Hall this week against the Dolphins, but I still think there's that thought in the back of my head that Brees Hall could end up reaming you, even though this matchup is salivating for against the Dolphins. Anytime you go up against the Dolphins defense, it's a red panty night, right? It's going to be a huge night for you. But I think Egbuka without Evans, I can't talk myself into sitting him. So it's got to be Egbuka. Now back to the main questions. I always answer the regular questions too, but when there's a lot of super chats, they get priority. Why? Because the people paid. But now we're on to the regular questions until someone super chats again. We're at 45 super chats right now. So once that hits 46, I'll click on super chats again. So, all right, we're here. What's up, Rel? How you doing? Pickens or Egbuka? How am I a scammer? Bro needed to get me 3 points. What happened? Oh, Kincaid or Ertz? I think I answered you, but it's Kincaid. It's Kincaid. I feel better about Kincaid, but maybe you're calling a player a scammer, not me, and I just read that wrong. You that read that wrong, but it's Kincaid over Ertz. And if you want to roll back like 2 minutes, I gave like a whole breakdown on that. Ramondre or Pacheco, Ramondre. Judkins or Marv. I would go Judkins. Olave or Chase Brown, Olave. Javante or Benson. That's a good question. Javante or Benson. Javante or Benson. Oh, there was a scammer in the chat. Okay. You want to know abstract? The only reason why I said that was because people have said that I don't answer their questions before, even though they super chatted. Even though I do answer them, I'm just behind on them, so I do apologize. I wasn't trying to get mad at you. I hope you don't take it that way. I appreciate your super chat. I love you. I love everyone here. Javante or Benson? Eileen Benson. And yeah, there's always scammers in the chat, just so you guys know. There used to be bots that would just drop like, come see big titted women here. And you click on the link and your computer fucking explodes. But it's more just like football scams now. Warren or Jalen Warren? Tyler Warren or Jalen Warren? Jalen Warren. Yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed and in the Discord. Walker or BTJ Walker? I traded Chubb and Ridley for Kittle. Thoughts? I like that. I like that. Ridley or Keon Coleman? Ridley, Baker or Geno? Baker, Henderson or MHJ? MHJ. MHJ. Scroll back a little bit. We'll scroll back a little bit. May or Geno? May. Kyler or Tua? Kyler. Jacoby or Keenan? Keenan. And no, I don't only respond to the super chats. Anymore. Jeffrey, thank you for the super chat again. Judy or Worthy? Thanks, man. For me, I'm going Judy. I think my problem with Worthy this week is basically just you're coming off of a serious injury. You're coming back. You missed 1 game. You didn't miss 3 games. It's not 4 games. Again, I'm not a doctor. So I can't say with 100% confidence that like, oh, Worthy's going to be this or that because he's hurt. But I just don't trust him. And I think he could easily end up being a decoy or a guy that just gets like 3 targets and you're seeing Mahomes just heave up bombs to Tyquan Thornton still. So I don't love Judy either. And I don't want to come off as like some Judy apologist after what's happened because I'm not that guy. Like, I don't think Jerry Judy's been great. And frankly, I don't know if he'll be able to fix that, but I do trust his floor to be significantly higher than what we're looking at with Worthy. So I would go Judy. Captain Spock, burger or pizza? I wonder what Spock's answer to that. I'm a burger guy personally. Hey, Nick, Egbuka or McConkey? I'm going Egbuka. Got tons of great wide receivers. Start 2. Oh, that's tough. I would go Nico in London personally. All right. Thanks, bro. No problem, Jeffrey. No problem. And again, the only reason why I don't want to play Worthy is strictly just because I don't want you guys to set super high expectations on Worthy coming back. And then he comes out there and he's playing like 20% of the snaps, or he's playing 80% of the snaps and he's like not running like legitimate routes. So they're just like not looking at him because he's just not playing as well. Like, that's just a big concern of mine. Build my lineup. I got you. JSN, Ted McMillan, Brees Hall, Genty, Schultz, Henderson. I lied. Genty, Brees, Judkins, JSN, Tet, Schultz. Benson or Pollard or Pearsall? Pearsall. Starter sit. Start 7, 1 flex. I got you. I'm just going to type this out. It's going to be Jacobs and K9. It's going to be Drake London and Egbuka and T-Mac. Your tight end's going to be Tyler Warren, QB Geno. Geno or May? May 100%. Look, I know Geno went balls to the wall last week. My dad had Geno against me in 2 different leagues, and I'm still feeling the 30 bomb that went straight onto me last week. That shit hurt like a butt cheek on a stick, but I don't think that's the normal for Geno, and I think Drake May is just better. Kyler or Purdy? I don't know what, dude. Sometimes I need to like go to the gym or something. I'm looking a little tubby right now, but sometimes like I make like a facial expression, I get like 14 chins. It's a brutal look for the boy. I got Brock Purdy 15, Kyler 16. I would go Purdy personally. There's something about Kyler that really disgusts me, and the fact that I think Kyler might throw like 2 picks tonight scares me. Trey Benson or Jaylen Warren, Benson. I got Wilson, Egbuka, BTJ pick 2, Wilson and Egbuka for me. Super sticker, thank you, Labyrinth. I love you. Thank you for the super sticker. I will pull up the super sticker in half a second to see what it looks like. The one thing I do dislike about streaming on StreamYard, it's pretty good, the thing that I use, but it doesn't actually show the sticker. Like, it just says, "Hey, Labyrinth sent you a sticker." Well, what the fuck does the sticker look like, you know? What does the sticker look like? I'm going to pull it up though. Abstract, thank you for the super chat. Nico Collins, Flowers, or DK, and I'm going to answer Labyrinth's question. I think DK is the odd man out. I know Flowers dud last week, right? Sorry about that. Straight up dud, which was not fun. But I do love the super sticker you sent. I just viewed it, but I think Flowers will bounce back from that. Like, Flowers really isn't that guy that he was in week 1, and like, he's not going to be that guy that's like a top 5 guy weekly, but the upside's too high to sit him. So I leave DK on the bench. Again, when it comes to those games that are overseas, a lot of the times they end up being colossal disappointments, not like a mild disappointment. I'm talking about like a complete and utter disaster to where you're just pissed that you even played guys there a lot of the time. Now, this is just, again, whatever that's called, anecdotal, right? I haven't done much research into it. It's anecdotal. From what I remember over the years, those games typically aren't that good. So Nico Collins and Flowers for me, even if that game was in the United States, it's Nico Collins and Flowers. Labyrinth, is Monagai a stash or a drop? Snap. Let me look at the snaps. I think Monagai is still a stash, in my opinion. Yeah, he's a stash because he's the clear handcuff to Swift. Swift's banged up, and Swift hasn't played good. So Monagai would be the direct link towards getting the backfield. Like, if something was to happen to Swift, you have the whole backfield. So yeah, he's definitely worthy of a hold. And also, based on how he looked in college, I think he's going to be a talented running back if given the opportunity. Obviously, if Swift's healthy, you're not playing him, but he plays enough snaps. Roshan isn't touching the field. Feel really good about Monagai as a bench stash. True, international games are sloppy. Yeah, the reason why it's sloppy a lot of the time is the time difference. They do leave early typically to get there, but sometimes they just don't catch up on it. The fact that the fields are normally much different too, like the playing surface compared to what they play on in the US. There's a lot of factors as to why they play differently. I don't know why it's like that, but it's just kind of always has been that way, if I'm being honest. John, Javonte, Olave, McConkey, QJ, PPR. I'm going Javonte and McConkey. Would you prefer to trade Ladd for Pearsall and Pollard, or just keep Ladd? I'd be fine doing that personally because I like Pearsall so much. Benson, wheels up. Yes, sir. BTJ will be back. Hang in there. I agree he's going to be back, and I would also agree not to just trade him for like someone that's useless. But I have seen, like, on the Patreon and on Twitter and stuff, people message me where they've traded BTJ for, let's try and think of who it was. It was like BTJ for JSN or something like that, where it was like a genuine steal to get rid of him. But yeah, BTJ is a beast. Shane Waldron does really concern me, though. The fact that he is the the passing game coordinator, and he absolutely destroyed guys like Cooper Kupp, Roma Dunze. Like, it's genuinely shocking to me that he still has a job, that he is still employed. I remember reading that in the summer, and I thought, oh, he'll definitely overcome that, right? Like, BTJ's too good, and no one can overcome it, it would appear. Pick 2, Trey Tucker, Io Manor, Golden Chubb, Wandale. I'm going to go Io Manor and Trey Tucker. What time is it? Game time. Jordan Mason, Trey Benson, or Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker. It might be Jordan Mason. Yeah, it's Jordan Mason. If you have to start 2, it's Jordan Mason and Kenneth Walker. Darnold or Wentz? Darnold. I just, again, like those overseas games, like I could really easily see Wentz playing terribly. Full PPR, Henderson or DK. I'm gonna go Henderson, but DK is a way safer. I think this is gonna be the coming out party for Henderson. I haven't full on called my shot because I haven't ranked him so highly to where like you have to start him, but I'm starting him. It's a damn shame. He will produce. He will produce. Benson, all gas, no brakes. Yeah, I mean Stafford or Gino. I got Gino. Thanks, man. No problem. Pearsall, Pittman, or Warren Pearsall. Make sure you guys are in the Discord. The Discord is always popping. I will be in there at some point tonight. I don't know if it'll be probably not right when the game starts, right when we get off here, but at some point I will hop in. I don't have like anyone going in fantasy tonight. I was really not on the JSN bandwagon. I wasn't off of JSN. I wish I was on JSN. Pause. I would be very happy right now if I was, because my wide receiver core in some leagues straight up whack. But that's how it goes. That is how it goes. No problem, man. I'm worried about Higgins this week too. To score a touchdown tonight. Deary? Dude, am I stupid? Who the hell is Deary? Judkins or K9? From Kenneth Walker. Bo Nix or Jordan Love? Jordan Love. Again, I understand Jordan Love hasn't played good, but anytime you can go up against the Cowboys, I'm telling you, it is a wet dream matchup. It's going to be belt to ass. It's going to be a big game. So that's the way that I'm going. That is the way that I'm going. Hey, Nick, put in my flex. Tet, Judkins, Monty, also Igbuka over Tet. Good question. Yeah, I would play Igbuka over Tet, but Tet's going to be the flex. So you're playing Tet and Igbuka. I got offered Pittman for Pollard. Other receivers are CD, Hill, Pearsall. The running backs are Jacobs, Hubbard. Yeah, I'd prefer to keep Pittman personally. I think you can get something better than Pollard after one big game. All right. Drake May. I'm gonna type it out. Drake May, Ladd, Igbuka, Barkley, Mason, Pickens. Would you trade Justin Jefferson for Devontae Adams and Chase Brown? Got proposed to me, and I do need flex help. Well, the thing is, as of right now, I don't even think Chase Brown is a startable asset. I think, gun to the head, I probably still would prefer to have Justin Jefferson, so that would be a no for me. You playing Tolbert or Wicks? I would personally play Wicks. Chat, should I start Walker or Igbuka? Walker. Drop Henderson. You have Walker in League 1. Are you going against me, Brian? I never check. I don't like looking at my matchups before the games play because, or even during the games, I kind of try to wait until Sunday at like 4 to check like how I'm doing, because I know if I'm losing and it's like 3 o'clock, I'm going to start tilting and start getting really mad. So I don't even check who I'm playing against beforehand. Yeah, Chase Brown is sleeping with the fishes, man, right now. It is not looking good. Drop Henderson to pick up Benson. Do not drop Henderson. Find someone else to drop. What do you mean by that? I don't even remember what I said. Hey, Nick, pick my flex. Tet, Judkins, Monty, also Igbuka over Tet. I would play Tet and Igbuka. Chuba or Benson. Chuba for me. Kamara or Hawk. Kamara. Juwan Jennings, Jameson Williams. I'd go JMO. Arizona unis are dope. They're wearing the new ones, right? The rivalry jerseys. The Dolphins are wearing rivalry jerseys on Monday night if you guys want to watch that disaster class of a game. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the Dolphins do on Monday, but I'm going to be honest with you, like if they lose, it's losing to the Jets is just way worse. My dad's also a Jets fan. Can't have him have that win over me, you know. He already beat me in fantasy. Kelsey or Ferguson? Ferguson. Shit. Did I put two of the same lineup in? I did. I did. That's what I get. That is what I get. Let's wait. How many are left? That's what I get for speaking, you know, talking to you guys while I'm doing something important. I'm only fucking with you guys. Okay, so this one needs to go in. This one needs to go in. Okay. Would you trade McConkey, Olave, and Genti for Neighbors or Harvey? You're giving up way too much. You're giving up way too much. Yeah, I'd play Wicks. I think Tolbert has pretty high upside, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really want to play Tolbert against the Packers. I'd prefer a different matchup. Hey Nick, should I start Walker or Agbuka? I'm going Walker. Benson or Genti? Genti. Thanks for the advice, no problem. Harold Fannin, Tyquan Thornton, or Travis Hunter? Thornton. Benson or Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker. Yeah, make sure you guys are in the Discord. Make sure you guys are in the Discord. The Discord is always popping. It's fun to be in there. You guys are always talking to each other, helping each other out. That's what it's all about, man. Just having a bunch of nice guys and gals in there that are so kind to each other too, and which is shocking because not that I think that you guys are all assholes, obviously, but you know the fantasy community as a whole, I would say, like when you go on like Twitter or something, it's pretty toxic. So the fact that all of you guys are super nice and cordial with each other is a big plus. So hopefully you don't take it that way of like, I think you guys are mean, because I don't think that. I read all my comments. Even if I don't get to your question, I read every single comment. And you guys are very nice. My two running backs, Genti. I'm going Genti and Brees personally. Tolbert or Wicks out of 24 team league. No, it's just someone struggling, man. That happens. Fantasy gets that way to where you have to start people like that. It's a 12 team league. That's fine. Kelsey or Ferguson? Ferguson. Actually, a pretty sharp group. Yeah, exactly. When you're in a league with smarter people, the more random people you will have to play. Like some of you guys have loaded teams. One, because you're good at fantasy, and two, because you're playing up against people that are not the sharpest knives in the cupboard, right? I play in one league that me and my dad, I think we've been in it since I was in a freshman in or sophomore in high school. So like basically 10 years at this point, and me or him have won 7 of 10 times. So it just goes to show you, like, even I'm in leagues that are like straight up cupcake matchups every year. It's, to be honest with you, it kind of loses a little bit of its fun when it's that easy. Like, and then I play up against you guys in the notorious League One, and it's much more difficult, obviously. And a lot of my leagues are more difficult than that. Benson or Walker? Walker. Half or what's a better flex? Ironman or Benson? Benson. Thanks, man. Genti and Brees. Dad just smacking you around. Yes, sir. Just like he used to when I was younger, you know? That's a joke. Obviously, my dad did not beat me. Thought that was funny to say, though, so I said it. One time, apparently, I socked my dad real good with a bottle when I was a child. I like threw it at him. And I smacked him in the face with it, and I messed up his nose. That's what he gets for beating me in fantasy. Fucking throw the bottle at his ass. JMO, MHJ or Golden? I would play MHJ. Did I win this trade? Gave Drake and McPherson for Benson and Aubrey. Yeah, I like that. Assuming that's Drake May, not Drake London. Trade Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers, and Jordan Mason for Bijan Robinson, Travis Kelce. He's 0-3. No. Would you put Montgomery, if you're getting Bijan and Kelce now, David Montgomery or Judkins in the flex? I would play Judkins, personally. But I think Montgomery's a little bit safer. You're probably the most entertaining and funny fantasy football content on YouTube. You never fail to make me laugh. You're also fine as fuck. Oil up, twin. What the fuck? Cheers. Thank you. Oh my god. MHJ tonight or Scatterbo? I would play MHJ. McNichols? Yeah, I think McNichols is worthy of an ad. Javonte or Chase Brown? Javonte. Howdy, fellas and gals. What's up, John? Nick went Hollywood on me. First chat, I've never been able to see respond to me. I'm sorry. I try to answer everyone's questions. It's how it is. It's how it is. It's toxic on game week facts. Shall I start Cup? No. Kenneth Walker or Benson? Kenneth Walker. Jordan Love or Caleb? Caleb. Yeah. Did I win this trade? David Montgomery for... Okay, I'm not going to fucking read that, Gib. Come on, man. Come on, man. We're all dickheads in that way. Bro, one of my leagues is 18 deep. $350 buy-in. That's crazy. Yeah, $350 buy-in, 18-team league. My dad is in a 16-team league. Guillotine league. That's interesting. The game is on Amazon, Dad, just like every other fucking night on Thursday. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, baby. Jordan Love or Caleb? Caleb. Will Bill be relevant? I think so. Maybe not this week, but I think so. Jordan Love or Caleb? Caleb, sup legend. Which tight end this week? Kincaid. Have Jacobs and Kenneth Walker as my running backs. Sutton or Wilson the flex. Any chance you'd start? Yeah, have fun watching the game. I'm going to get off here in a few seconds. Any chance you'd start? No, I would not start Henderson over any of those guys. Rolling with Kyler tonight makes the game more fun. That's fair. That is fair. This is my team. Is there any moves that I would make? All you really need is a better tight end, but now you have Kittle, so. Will Bill be relevant? I think so. Traded Chase Brown, ETN, Trey Tucker, and Diggs for Genty in London. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anything past 12 teams is crazy. My main league used to be a 14-team league, and what the fuck? That's the problem. My lighting is so bad. Look at this. I look like I'm blending in, so that's why I don't ever move more to the left. My main league used to be a 14-team league, and I loved it, but yeah, it is way harder. Anything past 12 is much more difficult. Kraft or Laporta at tight end, I'd go Kraft, and then I would go Ladd and Olave. Seahawks or Chargers, I would go with the Seahawks, but both are fine. Gino or Dak? Gino, thanks, Nick, no problem. Caitlin thinks you're fine, too. Well, I have a wife, so. DK or Trey? I would go DK or Trey. I'd go Trey Benson. If it's Trey Benson, I'm going Trey Benson, if not DK. Gino, Dak, or Bryce Young? Gino. See you, Caitlin. Good luck, everybody. Perfect. Thank you, Nikki. No problem. No problem. No problem. Full PPR, Judy, Cup, or Dobbs? Dobbs. Going Romeo Dobbs. Love you guys. We're going to head on out here. I appreciate you guys watching the stream. We'll be in the Discord. Yeah, I know the game started. I can rewind and watch the first 2 minutes of the game. Need to start 3 wide receivers. St. Brown, Pearsall, and Debo for me. DK or Trucks? Who the hell is Trucks? Adios, guys. Yeah, Tyron's my wife. Love you guys. I'll answer that in the comments if I'm just stupid and don't know who Trucks is. But I do love you guys. I hope you guys have a good one. So hope you guys have a fun time watching the games. Love you guys long time. Detroit or Buffalo wins this week. If you're talking about like if Detroit was to play Buffalo, I think Buffalo would win. But if you're talking about the defenses, I would prefer Buffalo. Love you too. Love you, man. AJR. Find me a wife, Nikki. Oh, Tucker or DK? DK. Find me a wife, Nikki. I like long walks on the beach and candlelit dinners. I got you, man. See you guys. I appreciate you guys, and we'll be back live on Sunday. Video tomorrow, video Saturday. Have a great one.